Yeah, just a quick review of the Crowye 8 pairs arthritis compression gloves. So these are made specifically for people that have hand arthritis and have a lot of symptoms from that. And they work to combat those symptoms in two main ways. First one is they provide compression, and compression helps decrease swelling. So as the gloves squeeze on your hand, kind of squeezes the extra fluid and swelling out of the tissues. And so after a while, you're actually be able to move your hands a little better, and which is in turn going to help the pain. The other way these things work to help with arthritis symptoms is they provide warmth. We all know that heat is always helps, any kind of arthritic condition you have. So those are the two main ways that arthritis gloves actually work to decrease your symptoms and pain. So a few points about these particular gloves. They do have an open finger design, which I really like. That means if you're, let's say you have trouble doing a hobby like sewing or, knitting, that kind of thing. Because your hand arthritis, you can't do it as much or as long as you want to. You can put these on, your hands will feel better, but still, because the open fingertip design, you still have that kind of fine motor coordination. So you still be able to do those things with your hands feeling better, be able to do them longer. And also it helps things like, when you're using your phone. Anyway, so these are hand wash only, so know that. They don't really recommend that you throw them in the washer. And actually, of all the gloves I've really looked at, arthritis gloves, these are probably the most cost-effective ones. So the price for 8 pairs of these is actually pretty good. So if you're looking for a value, this is pretty good value. And also the other thing is they've also got lots of colors, as you can see. Most gloves that I've looked at either come in like black or, brown, these two kind of colors. But look at all the other colors you can choose from. So I really like that you have some options there. So anyway, permanent relief, temporary relief, how do these things work? Well, mainly they work while you have them on. So when you put them on, usually about 30, 60 minutes, swelling goes down if you have any. Your hands are warmer, they're more flexible, be able to use them better, and you're feeling better. But when you take them off, after about, another 30 to 60 minutes, your hands aren't as warm anymore, swelling might come back, so you're kind of back where you started. So I think there actually is a way to use these kind of arthritis gloves and to get long-term relief. Make your symptoms either go away altogether or at least manage it a lot better. So you're going to have to use a multi-pronged treatment approach. You're going to have to do several things to get you where you want to be. First thing is using the gloves. So you got to do something else. So we all know things like exercise, for instance, really helps arthritis symptoms. If you can get your hands stronger, if you can get them more flexible, you're going to be feeling better and the pain's going to be less. But you can't really do that right now because your hands hurt. So what you do is you get the gloves, you put them on, after about 30 or 60 minutes, hands are more flexible, swelling's gone down a little bit if you have any, and you're able to do exercises now. And so week by week, as you do the exercises, your hands get stronger, joints get more flexible, you're going to have less symptoms, and that's going to give you more permanent relief. So for instance, as an example, this book, Treat Your Own Hand and Thumb Osteoarthritis, you could do something like simple range of motion exercises. So if you go to like occupational therapy or like any hand therapy, they're always going to have you do range of motion exercises. Why is that? Well, the joints in your hands are synovial joints, and they contain synovial fluid. And synovial fluid kind of gets moved around, and it provides nutrition to the joint. So the problem is, if you're not moving the joint through the full range of motion, you're not really spreading that synovial fluid and the nutrition all over the place where it really needs to be. So if you do range of motion exercise, you're able to coat that articular cartilage a lot better with the synovial fluid, which is a lot better for your hand arthritis all the way around. Other thing you consider doing is like strengthening exercises. You don't need to spend all day actually doing them. Do these 2 or 3 times a week. They only take probably 5 or 6 minutes at the most. This book has some doing it with some light dumbbell, which is easy to do. And when you can do them with that dumbbell, you might buy a little bit. Like say if you start with like a 2-pound one, you can go up to 3 pounds or 4 pounds. But there's just some simple things you can do to really strengthen your fingers. Also something for base of the thumb arthritis. A lot of people have trouble in the thumb, at the base of the thumb there. Also called carpometacarpal joint arthritis. There is something you actually do for that very conservatively. You can strengthen this muscle called your abductor pollicis longus muscle. It actually, as you can see in the pictures, sucker attaches right to the base of the thumb there, right where you're having problems at. So if you do this exercise, which actually this one involves like a rubber band, do it a couple times a week, you get that abductor pollicis longus muscle really strong. You're going to have a lot more joint stability there, and that's going to mean a lot less pain, a lot less symptoms for you. So a lot of things you can do, but like I say, you can't do them now. Put the gloves on, they'll help you do the exercises, and that'll give you the longer term relief. So yeah, they're good gloves. Check it out.